here's everything I batch cooked this Sunday for the week ahead. So I always like to start out by writing a list so that I know what I'm aiming for throughout the day. And if I remember, I try to start with what we're going to have for dinner that night. So this day we're having something I've batch prepped previously, this potato and vegetable side dish along with some coriander and lime chicken. So I got the veg out of the freezer to defrost and popped the chicken straight into the slow cooker. And the first thing to start batching if it's a baking day is the dough. Today I wanted to make 2 loaves of white bread, a double batch of buttery bread rolls, and a double batch of pizza dough. Then they all went on the side to prove for a while. While the dough was proving, I started on a batch of flapjacks, and by the time they were in the oven, the buttery bread roll dough had finished proving. I shaped them and set them aside for their second proof. The recipe for the rolls is pinned to the top of my profile if you want to try making them. So I also made a double batch of pizza dough, but I didn't want to cook the bases straight away. So after the first proof, I shaped them into balls and wrapped them in cling film. These can then go in the freezer raw, and I'll take them out and defrost them in the fridge on the day that I want to make pizza. For the flapjack, I wanted to use up the rest of the granola I made a while ago. So I used half apricot and almond granola and half oats. And when that had cooled, I topped it with some melted dark chocolate. That will be snacks for me and my husband to take to work for lunches. And I also made a plain sponge cake for the kids to have as pudding for a few days. I started this cooking day at around 1. So by 5 o'clock, the vegetable and potato dish had defrosted. I popped that into the oven for about half an hour and shredded up the lime and coriander chicken. My husband and I had that for dinner. The kids had pesto pasta. And then finally, I sliced up 1 loaf of bread after it had cooled, popped the cakes and flapjacks into tins, and the other loaf of bread went into the bread bin for us to eat fresh. The sliced loaf, the pizza dough, and the rolls all went into the freezer so I can pull them out when we need them through the week. If you want to stretch your food budget and start batch cooking, then follow along for more.